What's up, guys? This is Matt. I do a channel called You and Your Horror Movies. I started this in April, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. Meeting a lot of cool people, being invited into groups, which was fantastic, and I thank you guys for that. Uh, Having a lot of fun doing this. And I just got into I should say, someone tagged me to do a list, and I thought this was fantastic. I'm glad people are bringing this back, where you would tag people, let them do a video, let them tag two more, let them do videos, and it spreads. It's pretty cool. So I got tagged by a friend of mine, JP, and I'm tagging two people. I'm going off the Facebook page too here. And the two people I'm tagging, so you guys need to do some videos and then dump a bucket of lava over your head. No, I'm just kidding about the bucket of lava. Mike Schenkel, you're number one, and David Koning, you're number two. So I tag you two to do some videos and do this list here. Alright, let's get on with the list. Number one, what is your favorite horror film? Mine's got to be Friday the 13th Part 4, and I can watch that movie over and over again. It doesn't get boring to me. It doesn't get monotonous. It's just, I know what happens, but I prep and I laugh. I love it. I think it's a great setup. The storyline was well. The characters were written in well. Crispin Glover was great. You got the origin of Tommy Jarvis in there and how he meets Jason, because, if you haven't seen Part 4 and you go to 5 and 6, who is this Tommy Jarvis? Well, you're silly for not starting with 1 and going all the way up. But anyway, I find Part 4 fantastic. And then, of course, my second one is Part 7. People are like, why is Part 7? I love it. I can watch that one, too. The whole Jason versus Carrie aspect was solid. Yeah, anyway. Number 2. Who's your favorite Scream Queen? My favorite Scream Queen is Jamie Lee Curtis. Ever watching Halloween, I followed her in some of her other films, and fantastic, on Prom Night, even in her later films, Virus. Oh, great. I always enjoyed her. And then when she was in True Lies, and that dance scene, oh, fantastic. Okay. What subgenre of horror film do you like the best for number 3? Mine's got to either be creature features or nature run amok films. I love those films. If it's a killer ant to a killer cheetah or a tiger or some weird ass creature, maybe a rhinoceros, I don't know, I'll watch it. I love those films. They suck me right in, and I'm on the couch watching it. And if the creature features pretty good, I'm into those two. Those two are my favorites. Number 4? What type of horror film do you not like? Either between found footage and sometimes home invasion, but mostly towards found footage. Some of them were great, Blair Witch was fantastic. But then there's a lot of them. You just sit there and you start watching and you're going, oh crap, it's found footage. And it's all over the place. People are not used to the whole camera shaking thing, so they get nauseous and sick. I never did, but I started getting headaches. I'm like, this is getting stupid. Something happened, please. And stuff happens off camera that it's like, what happened? They're screaming. Why? They're not giving us anything. I know we can use our imagination, but come on, I'm here watching a movie. I'd rather read a book to use my imagination. If you were a Scream Queen from any movie, who would you be and why? Jamie Lee Curtis again. She's a fighter. She doesn't take shit for no one. Strong-hearted woman, and she's hot. Hey, from the year she was in, yeah, she was. She still is. Number 6. Who is your favorite horror villain and why? Well, that's Jason. Just because he's a kick-ass motherfucker. Who is the worst horror villain and why for number 7? I'm going to go with the Leprechaun from the Leprechaun films. The movie starts out fine, and then it goes downhill. They're funny, yes, they're a good watch, but they're boring. They need to up that up. I don't know. Alright. Number 7. Nope, sorry. Number 8. What is the worst horror film you have seen and why? I'm going with Creepshow 3. I hated that film. Not because it has the Creepshow title, okay? I love anthologies. I love how they set up. But the stories were horrid. Some just don't make sense at all. I decided to revisit it the other day because it's on YouTube, because I won't spend money to buy this film. But the special effects were shit. The one kid that turns into a vampire looks awful. The scene with the guy with the hot dog ghost, crap. The stories were just shit. If I don't know. I talk about this film and I hate it. If it had a different title, I would still hate the film. Okay? Not because it says Creepshow 3, but alright, let me get out this one because I'm starting to get ticked off. Number 9. Which horror film do you think is overrated? Overrated, I think, would probably have been the Saw films. Those just, people keep talking about them. I'm like, alright, it's the same shit. The kills are a little different, yeah, but for me, I think it's Saw. Alright, number 10. What horror film do you think is underrated? I don't hear many people talking about the Candyman films, so I'm going with Candyman. Great slasher. Tony Todd is fantastic. Candyman is up in my top, somewhere up there, but you don't see a lot of it. So I'm going with Candyman as an underrated one. Okay, number 10. 11. Do you like horror spoof movies? It depends. Some I do, some I don't. Number 12. What is your favorite horror film series? Friday the 13th. They don't get goofy. They don't add weird shit to them. It just Jason killing people. And the stories are pretty interesting. I can even deal with Jason X. I don't know. I can watch that other one over and over again. For some reason, the Friday the 13th movies, no matter which one is on, I'll watch it. If it's 1 through 10, I'm game. Even the remake. Alright, where are we? Number 13. Name 13 horror villains and movies. Alright, let's go with the horror villains first. We've got Freddy Krueger, Leatherface, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, Leprechaun. We're going to go with Jigsaw. I'm going with not the puppet, but I'm going with the human being of Jigsaw himself, because he does it. I don't know why they keep putting this puppet as the whole Jigsaw name. It's not that. Alright, so that's 6. I'm going with Horace Pinker from Shocker. Great film. Yeah, I'm going to go with 7 villains. Now I'm going to go with the rest as horror movie titles. I'm going to go with The Blob. Blob is fantastic. John Carpenter's The Thing remake. Another awesome film. They Live. Another John Carpenter film. Gotta love those ones. So now we're at 10. So we got 3 more. I'm going to go with Final Destination. And that movie was fantastic. Alright, so we got 11. So we just got 2 more. I don't know, I got a shit ton of movies here. Let's go with Night of the Living Dead. And let's go with Bram Stoker's Dracula. Boom. There's 13 films and horror villains right there. Alright, JP decided to add a 14th to this. What horror film best represents what horror is? There's a bunch of movies out there that could represent what horror can be. It all depends on what you think horror is too, I think. Some people think horror is, things from unknown, creatures, monsters, I think horror too is us humans. I'm going to go with, this is a weird one, I'm going to go with The Mist. Okay, this is a Stephen King film. You both have monsters in the mist, and you have this human interaction, what can cause horror. The human interaction is the scene in the grocery store where the crazy religious woman was just convincing people to gather around and and sacrifice people to the monsters out into the mist and just making everybody that was a friendly town into these raving lunatics, and how one influence can change everything. So I think The Mist is a great interpretation of what horror is. You have unknown stuff, when you're walking in the mist. You get this weird eerie feeling. You do have monsters and creatures in the story. And you have the humans where we're horror too. We're the villains. Where you have people turning on each other, friends and family, just saying, you know what, I want to survive. I'm throwing you onto this creature. Then they're going to do the kids. Come on, I think that's a great interpretation of what a horror film is. So that's mine, is The Mist from Stephen King. And the ending, I still say, is one of the best endings out there, and leaves you at a what the fuck moment. Perfect. Alright. I think since JP added a question, well, I'm going to add a question. So we're going to make this up to 15. Let's hopefully, when you guys come up with them, you add some up. And when people follow yours, hopefully they can add questions on. Alright, for my question is, what is your favorite horror remake and why? It's got to be a remake. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe down below. Let me know what you think about my answers. If you have different answers, post them down below. I don't care. Alright guys, you guys have a good one. Peace. Thanks, JP.